All right, so today we're going to deep dive into how to prepare for a Knitting Machine Supervisor interview. We've got some really great resources from RoleCatcher, career guides, interview guides, even some insights into how their AI can give you an edge in the process. So our mission today is to help equip you with the knowledge and strategies to really nail this interview.
Yeah, it's amazing all the resources that RoleCatcher has.
Hmm.
And they don't just focus on getting you the job, but on understanding the entire career landscape. So today we're going to kind of dive into, the role itself, potential career paths, even how technology is changing the knitting game.
I love that. Okay, so first things first, let's paint a picture of what a Knitting Machine Supervisor actually does.
Yeah,
I mean, it's got to be more than just knitting, right?
Oh, yeah, way more. So you're talking about quality control, troubleshooting these amazing machines, leading a team of talented folks. So imagine, the hum of the machines, the feel of all the different yarns, that satisfaction of a perfectly knitted fabric just rolling off the line. I mean, it's hands-on, it's creative. And you know what? The career guide says demand is steady, so that's a great sign.
Okay, I'm already hooked.
Yeah.
But let's get down to brass tacks, the interview itself. So RoleCatcher has a bunch of sample questions that they've provided, and I think walking through those would be really helpful. Are you ready to dive in?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
Okay, perfect. So question number one, what inspired you to pursue a career as a knitting machine supervisor? Now, I know it's tempting to just say, I like knitting, but I think we can dig a little deeper than that, right?
For sure. I mean, this is your chance to really connect your passion to certain parts of the job. Are you fascinated by the machinery? Do you love solving problems, making sure things run smoothly? Or maybe you just thrive on leading a team to success. Think about what really motivates you and then connect it back to the role.
That's so true. It's all about showing your enthusiasm and how it fits with the job. Now, what about follow-up questions? So let's say they ask, what specifically about the machinery excites you? What would you say to that?
That's a great follow-up. You could talk about specific knitting machines that you've worked with, maybe highlight what makes them so complex or unique. Or maybe you're drawn to the precision and efficiency of automated systems. I mean, tell them that. It's about showcasing your genuine interest and knowledge.
That makes total sense.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to question number two. What are the most important qualities for a knitting machine supervisor to possess? Man, what comes to mind when you hear that question?
Well, this question is all about demonstrating that you truly understand this role inside and out, and that you have the skills to excel. So think about the core responsibilities. Supervising the team, making sure quality is top-notch, troubleshooting any technical issues. So what qualities are essential for those tasks?
Okay, so attention to detail has to be huge, right? Along with problem-solving skills. And being a clear communicator.
Exactly. Those are all spot on. You could also mention leadership qualities, being able to handle pressure, and a strong work ethic. But remember, don't just list them. Give examples. Have you been praised for your meticulous work? Did you solve a tricky production problem? Share those stories to really bring your skills to life.
So true. Now, this is where it gets really interesting. What if they dig a little deeper and say, can you give me a specific example of a time you demonstrated problem-solving skills on the job? What would you say?
All right, this is your time to shine. So think back to a situation where you faced a challenge. Maybe a machine malfunction or a production delay, and describe the steps you took to figure out the problem. Analyze the situation and come up with a solution. Really focus on what you did and the positive result that you achieved.
That's it. That's all about showing them you can walk the walk, not just talk the talk. Let's tackle question number three. How would you handle a situation where a machine breaks down in the middle of a production run?
Ah, yes, the classic, tell me about a time you faced a crisis question. So they want to see how you handle pressure. The key here is to showcase your ability to think on your feet, stay calm, and have a methodical approach to problem solving.
So how would you structure your answer? Should you walk them through a hypothetical situation or share a real-life experience?
I think ideally a little bit of both. So start by outlining your general approach to a machine breakdown, highlighting safety protocols and how you'd assess the situation. Then share a specific story about a time you successfully dealt with a similar challenge. This shows them you've not only thought about it, but you've actually been there and done that.
I love that. All right, let's say they follow up with this. What steps would you take to minimize downtime and get production back on track? What specific actions would you highlight?
That's a great question. So you can mention things like immediately figuring out how serious the breakdown is, contacting maintenance if needed, maybe using backup machines if you have them, delegating tasks to your team efficiently, and keeping everyone in the loop with clear communication. It's about showing them you have a plan. and you can execute it like a pro.
Okay, you're making me feel way more prepared already.
Yeah.
Let's move on to question number 4. This one's all about quality. How do you ensure that the products produced by the machines meet the quality standards of the company?
Okay, so this question is all about proving you're committed to quality control and that you understand the company's standards like the back of your hand. You want to showcase how meticulous you are and your proactive approach to maintaining those standards.
Right. So more than just saying I'm a perfectionist, what concrete steps would you highlight?
Get specific. Talk about regular inspections at different points in the production process, so after setup, during startup, and throughout the entire run. You can mention using quality control checklists, measuring tools, and any software you use for tracking data. If the company has specific quality certifications, make sure you know those inside and out, and mention your experience sticking to those standards.
Okay, so it sounds like it's about having a system for quality control, not just winging it.
Absolutely. Show them you have a process, you follow it diligently, and you're always looking for ways to improve. Now imagine they ask, what would you do if you noticed a recurring quality issue even though you're following all the standard procedures? How would you tackle that?
That's a tough one. I'd want to highlight my problem-solving skills and willingness to go the extra mile.
Exactly. So you could mention things like conducting a root cause analysis to figure out the source of the issue, brainstorming solutions with your team, experimenting with different machine settings or materials, and keeping detailed documentation of everything. Show them you're not afraid to dig deep and find a solution.
We're making me feel like a quality control pro already. All right, let's move on to question number 5. This one's all about leadership. How do you motivate and manage a team of employees?
The leadership question. This is where you get to showcase your people skills and your ability to inspire and guide others. It's not just about giving orders, it's about creating a positive and productive work environment.
So what kind of leadership style would you emphasize in your answer? Would you go for authoritative, collaborative, or something else?
I think a blend of styles is always best. You want to show that you can be both a strong leader and a supportive mentor. Highlight your ability to communicate clearly, delegate tasks effectively, give constructive feedback, and recognize when individuals are doing great work. And don't forget conflict resolution.
Right, you got to be able to handle those tricky interpersonal situations that inevitably come up in a team environment. What if they ask this? Can you give an example of a time you successfully motivated your team to achieve a challenging goal? What story would you share?
This is where you pull out a specific story that showcases your leadership skills in action. So maybe you rallied your team to meet a tight deadline, overcome a production obstacle, or implemented a new process improvement. Describe the challenge, how you approached it, and the positive result you achieved through teamwork and your guidance.
I love that. Okay, ready for question number 6?
Hit me with it.
All right, here we go. How do you ensure that the knitting machines are operating efficiently and effectively? This one seems to be all about technical knowledge and preventative maintenance, right?
Yeah, you got it. It's about showcasing your understanding of how these machines work, how to optimize their performance, and how to prevent those dreaded breakdowns.
So beyond just saying I keep them clean and oiled, what specific actions would you highlight?
Get into the details. Talk about regular inspections and maintenance checks, following the manufacturer's guidelines, using diagnostic tools to monitor performance, and keeping detailed maintenance logs. You can also mention proactive things like calibrating settings, replacing parts before they fail, and training your team on how to use the machines properly and prevent problems.
So it's all about being proactive and preventing those problems before they even happen.
Exactly. Show them you're not just reacting to issues, you're actively working to ensure everything runs smoothly and efficiently. Now imagine they say, what would you do if you noticed a decline in machine productivity even though you're doing regular maintenance? How would you approach that?
That's a great question. I think I'd want to showcase my analytical skills and ability to dig deeper into the problem.
Perfect. So you could mention things like analyzing production data to identify trends, consulting with technicians or experts, researching potential causes, and experimenting with different solutions. It's all about demonstrating a methodical and persistent approach to problem solving.
I'm feeling way more confident already. Okay, let's tackle question number 7. This one's all about staying current. How do you stay up to date with the latest trends and technologies in the knitting industry?
This one's all about showing your commitment to continuous learning and your passion for the industry. They want to see that you're not just content with the status quo, you're eager to learn and grow.
Right. So beyond just saying I read trade journals, what specific resources or activities would you mention?
Showcase your proactive approach to staying informed. So mention specific industry publications, online forums, or professional organizations. Have you attended any conferences or webinars? Talk about those. And don't forget about personal projects or experimenting with new techniques. Those demonstrate a genuine passion for the craft.
So it sounds like it's not just about staying informed, but also about actively seeking out new knowledge and applying it to your work.
Exactly. You want to paint a picture of yourself as a lifelong learner, someone who's always striving to improve and stay ahead of the curve. Now, let's say they ask you, can you tell me about a recent industry trend that you found particularly interesting and how you think it could be applied to our company? How would you respond?
That's a great opportunity to showcase my knowledge and connect it to the specific company I'm interviewing with.
Right. This is where your research comes in handy. Be prepared to talk about specific trends like automation, sustainable manufacturing, or new materials. Then show off your strategic thinking by explaining how those trends could benefit the company, whether it's improving efficiency, reducing costs, or creating innovative products.
Oh, that's a brilliant tip. I'm going to make sure I have a few of those trends up my sleeve before walking into that interview. Okay, this is fantastic.
I'm glad you're finding it helpful. Remember, preparation is key. Now let's move on to question number 8. This one is all about decision making. Can you describe a time when you had to make a difficult decision related to the knitting machines or production process?
Oh, this one feels a bit heavier. They want to see how I handle those tough calls, right?
Exactly. They want to assess your judgment, your ability to weigh different factors, and your commitment to making the best decision for the company, even when it's not easy.
Okay, so what kind of situation would be a good example to share here? Would it be better to talk about a technical issue, a personnel conflict, or something else entirely?
Well, the best example is one that's both specific and impactful. So maybe you had to make a call about shutting down a machine for repairs, even though there was pressure to keep production going. Or perhaps you had to address a quality issue that meant putting a large order on hold. Choose a situation where you had to balance different priorities, think about potential risks, and ultimately make a decision that had real consequences.
Okay, I'm starting to see how to frame this answer effectively. Now, let's say they follow up with, what were the most important factors you considered when making that decision? How would you respond to that?
This is your chance to showcase your analytical thinking and your ability to prioritize. So walk them through your thought process, highlighting factors like safety, quality, cost, deadlines, and the impact on your team. Show them you looked at all sides of the issue and made a well-informed decision.
I love how we're breaking down these questions and really getting into the details. This is so helpful. Okay, ready for the final question for this part of our deep dive?
Bring it on. Let's finish strong.
All right, here we go. Question number 9. How do you prioritize tasks and manage your time effectively? This one seems pretty straightforward, but I bet there's more to it than meets the eye, right?
Absolutely. Time management is essential for any supervisory role.
Yeah.
And they want to see that you have a system for staying organized, prioritizing tasks, and meeting those deadlines.
Right. So beyond just saying I make to-do lists,
Yeah.
what specific strategies or tools would you highlight?
Get specific. Talk about using a planner, a digital task management app, or a time blocking technique. Do you use a prioritization matrix or the Eisenhower method? Mention it. Have you developed any personal strategies for staying focused and avoiding distractions? Share those too. The key is to demonstrate that you have a system that works for you and allows you to manage multiple responsibilities effectively.
So it's all about showcasing your organizational skills and your ability to handle a busy workload without getting overwhelmed.
Exactly. Now let's say they follow up with, can you give an example of a time you had to juggle multiple competing priorities and how you successfully managed your time to meet all the deadlines? What story would you share?
That's a great opportunity to highlight a specific situation that demonstrates my time management skills in action.
Right. Choose an anecdote that showcases your ability to prioritize tasks, delegate effectively, and stay calm under pressure. Maybe you had to manage a sudden production surge, deal with multiple machine breakdowns, or coordinate a complex project with tight deadlines. Describe the challenge, your approach, and the positive outcome achieved through your organizational skills.
This is fantastic. I'm feeling so much more prepared for this interview already. Thanks to these sample questions and your expert insights, I feel like I have a solid grasp of what to expect and how to approach each question strategically.
I'm glad to hear that. Remember, confidence is key. And speaking of confidence, there's one more tool that can give you a significant advantage in the interview process: RoleCatcher's AI.
Oh, right. We haven't even touched on the AI component yet. Tell me more about how RoleCatcher's AI can help nail this interview.
So picture this, an AI that analyzes job descriptions, identifies missing skills in your resume, and helps you tailor your answers to really impress the hiring manager. It's like having a personal coach, but powered by data. Plus, it can even analyze your video practice sessions.
Wait, hold on. It can analyze video practice sessions. Tell me more.
Absolutely. So you can record yourself answering these practice questions, either audio or video, and the AI will give you feedback on how you deliver your answers, your body language, and even your tone of voice. It's like having a virtual interview coach, giving you personalized pointers to help you shine.
That's incredible. It's like having a secret weapon in my interview arsenal.
Exactly. It can help you pinpoint areas where you can improve and make sure you're presenting yourself in the best possible light. And by tailoring your answers to the specific job description using the AI's insights, you'll be showcasing the skills and experience they're looking for, which increases your chances of landing the job.
Okay, you've officially blown my mind. RoleCatcher's AI sounds like a game changer for anyone prepping for an interview. But for now, let's take a quick break. We'll be right back with more expert insights and strategies to help you rock that Knitting Machine Supervisor interview. Stay tuned.
Welcome back. So we're going to keep diving deeper into prepping for that Knitting Machine Supervisor interview, using all those amazing resources from RoleCatcher.
Yeah, we've already tackled some tough interview questions.
Yeah.
But RoleCatcher has even more to offer, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure. One thing that's really cool about their approach is how they break down the entire career path itself. Remember all those career stages we were talking about earlier?
Mm-hmm.
Well, they actually have examples of what someone at each level, so from operator to technician, all the way up to supervisor, might actually say in an interview. It's kind of like getting a sneak peek into the minds of people who have already climbed the ladder.
That is so helpful. So let's say you're currently a knitting machine operator. What kind of experiences should you be highlighting to show you're ready for that supervisor role?
Great question. So you really want to focus on the tasks that kind of demonstrate leadership potential. So have you ever trained new operators, assisted with quality control, or maybe you took the initiative to streamline a process or troubleshoot a recurring issue? These examples really prove you're not just an operator, you're a problem solver, and you're a team player.
I love that. It's all about showcasing the skills that go beyond just running the machines. Now, what if you're a knitting machine technician? What kind of experiences should you focus on?
Well, technicians have a really deep understanding of the machines, right? So you definitely want to highlight your expertise in maintenance, repair, and troubleshooting. So have you ever identified a recurring problem and then you implemented a solution that really boosted efficiency? Or maybe you train operators on proper machine use, preventative maintenance. These examples demonstrate both your technical knowledge and your leadership potential.
It's all about connecting the dots between your current experience and what's needed for that supervisor role.
Exactly. And don't forget about all those important soft skills. Communication, problem solving, teamwork. Those are essential at every level.
Right. Technical skills are important, of course, but you've also got to be able to lead and inspire a team. Now, I'm curious about those higher level positions that RoleCatcher mentioned. What's like the next step up from Knitting Machine Supervisor?
Well, they mention roles like production manager or even plant manager, and these positions require even stronger leadership skills, strategic thinking, and the ability to oversee multiple departments, or even the entire production process.
So this supervisor role is really just a stepping stone to even bigger things. That's pretty inspiring.
It is, and the best part is, RoleCatcher's resources can guide you every step of the way.
Speaking of guidance, there's a section in their guide about the pros and cons of being a knitting machine supervisor. I'm always a little wary of con lists, but this one actually offers some valuable insights, I think.
I agree. They don't sugarcoat things. They acknowledge that the job can be pretty demanding, both physically and mentally. They mention long hours, potential exposure to noise and dust, and, the pressure of meeting those production deadlines.
Well, yeah, that's the reality,
Yeah.
right? It's so important to go into any job with a clear picture of what to expect. So what are some of the pros of this career that stand out to you?
Well, they highlight the high job security, the potential for moving up the ladder, and the satisfaction of working in a really hands-on, creative field. And let's not forget that sense of camaraderie that comes with working as part of a team. There's a certain energy that comes from collaborating towards a shared goal.
I love that. It's all about finding a career that aligns with your values and your interests. Okay, let's get back to interview prep. We've covered a lot of ground on questions, career insights, but there's one more tool I want to unpack. RoleCatcher's AI-powered resume builder.
Ah, yes. This is where technology meets career strategy. Remember how the AI analyzes job descriptions to identify missing skills? Well, it takes it a step further by suggesting ways to tailor your resume to match the specific requirements of the job you're applying for.
Hold on. So it does more than just check for typos and grammar. It actually helps showcase the skills they're looking for.
Exactly. It's like having a personal resume consultant who understands the industry and the specific role you're targeting.
Wow, that's amazing. So let's say I'm applying for this Knitting Machine Supervisor position. How exactly does the AI help tailor my resume?
Okay, let's break it down. First, you upload your existing resume to RoleCatcher. Then you plug in the job description for the position. The AI analyzes both and flags any skills or keywords mentioned in the job description that are missing from your resume.
So it's like a gap analysis. But for your skills?
Precisely. But here's the really cool part. It doesn't just point out what's missing. It gives you specific suggestions on how to incorporate those missing keywords and skills into your resume. So it might recommend adding a new bullet point to your work experience, rephrasing a previous accomplishment to highlight a relevant skill, or even adding a whole new section to showcase your certifications or training.
So it's not about adding fluff. It's about strategically positioning your experience to match what they're looking for.
Exactly. It helps you present your qualifications in a way that really resonates with the hiring manager, and it makes you stand out from the crowd.
RoleCatcher's AI really is like having a personalized career coach in your pocket.
It's a game changer. And it doesn't stop at tailoring your resume. It can also help you write compelling cover letters and optimize your LinkedIn profile.
Okay, I am sold on the power of AI for career advancement. But before we get too carried away with technology, let's circle back to the human element of the interview process.
Right. I mean, all of these resources are designed to empower you, but ultimately, it's your personality, your passion, and your communication skills that will shine through in that interview room.
So true. Okay, we've covered a ton of ground on interview prep, from tackling those tricky questions to leveraging the power of AI. But what's the one piece of advice you would give to someone walking into that Knitting Machine Supervisor interview?
Be confident, be authentic, and be prepared to showcase your passion for what you do.
I love that. It's all about bringing your whole self to the table. Now, I want to remind you that we've only scratched the surface of what RoleCatcher has to offer. Their platform is truly a treasure trove of resources for job seekers at every stage of their career.
Absolutely. Whether you're just starting out, looking to level up, or exploring new career paths, RoleCatcher has the tools and the insights to help you succeed.
All right, before we wrap up part 2, let's switch gears and talk about the importance of research. RoleCatcher has this massive database of employers, and they really emphasize digging deep into the company you're interviewing with. I mean, researching the company shows that you're serious about the opportunity, right? It's like going the extra mile to understand their world.
Oh, it really does make a difference. And it's not just about impressing them. It helps you figure out if the company is a good fit for you, too. You know, their values should align with yours, and you want to make sure that you would thrive in their company culture.
Yeah, it's a two-way street for sure.
Yeah.
So let's say you're prepping for an interview with a company that's known for their, like, high-end knitwear. What kind of research would really wow them?
Well, I'd start by diving into their website, check out their products, their mission statement, and just get a feel for their company culture. Are they all about innovation, sustainability, craftsmanship? Understanding their core values can really help you tailor your answers to what matters most to them.
That's really smart. It's like showing them you get their brand and what makes them unique. What else would you look into?
I would definitely check out their social media, see what they're posting, get a feel for their brand voice. Are they active in any industry events or organizations? I mean, that can give you clues about their priorities and where they stand in the market.
It's like creating a mental profile of the company before you even step foot in the interview room.
Exactly. And bonus points, if you can find any articles or press releases about recent company news or initiatives, it proves you're keeping up with their latest developments and you're genuinely interested in their success.
These research strategies are gold. I'm definitely using them before my next interview. But let's shift gears a little bit and talk about something that RoleCatcher emphasizes: practicing your answers out loud.
Ah, yes. Practice makes perfect, right? But RoleCatcher takes practice to a whole new level.
I'm intrigued. What do they recommend?
So they encourage you to go beyond just rehearsing in your head.
Yeah.
They actually want you to record yourself answering practice questions, either audio or video.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. Hearing yourself can reveal things you might miss when you're just thinking through your answers.
For sure. It can help you catch any verbal tics, awkward phrasing, or spots where you tend to ramble. And seeing yourself on video can be really revealing for your body language and expressions. Are you making eye contact? Are you smiling? Or are you fidgeting nervously?
Okay, I have to admit, I'm not a huge fan of watching myself on video,
Uh,
but I know it's helpful.
yeah, it can be a little cringy at first, but it's honestly the best way to polish your presentation skills. And that's where RoleCatcher's AI comes in again. Remember how we talked about it analyzing video practice sessions?
Yes, it's like having a virtual interview coach giving you personalized feedback.
Exactly. It can actually point out areas where you can improve your delivery, tone of voice, and even your body language. I mean, talk about a secret weapon to help you nail that first impression.
You've convinced me. I'm embracing the power of video practice, even if it takes me out of my comfort zone a little bit.
It's totally worth it. Now, before we wrap up this deep dive, remember that point in the guide about new technologies changing the textile industry?
Yeah, it mentioned things like automation, 3D knitting,
Yeah.
and even smart textiles.
Exactly. So as you walk into that interview, think about this. How could you, as a knitting machine supervisor, use those advancements to improve efficiency and quality?
That's such a great question to consider. It shows you're not just thinking about the day-to-day, you're thinking about the future of the industry and how you can contribute to it.
Exactly. It showcases your forward-thinking mindset and your willingness to embrace innovation.
This has been such an incredible deep dive, thanks to RoleCatcher's resources and your expertise. I'm feeling so much more prepared and confident to tackle that Knitting Machine Supervisor interview.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. And remember, it's not just about this one interview. It's about your whole career journey. So keep learning, keep growing, and keep pushing yourself to reach your full potential.
That's a perfect note to end on. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the world of knitting machine supervision. We hope you've gained some valuable insights to help you land your dream job.
And remember, no matter where you are in your career, there are always opportunities to grow and advance. So embrace the challenges, believe in yourself, and never stop learning.